Are you thinking about buying investment property in Urbana, Champaign, Illinois? How do you find the best real estate investments right here in Champaign, Urbana? How much do they cost and how much cash flow can you expect to receive? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you a selection of properties to consider so you know how to find the best properties when investing in real estate in Champaign, Urbana, Illinois. Welcome to this video about buying investment properties in Champaign, Urbana, Illinois. My name is Brock Collins. I'm your local real estate agent in Champaign, Illinois. And since you're interested in investment properties in Urbana or in Champaign, I'm here to be your expert guide. I'm not just a real estate agent, I'm also a real estate investor as well. And I've personally bought over 100 investment properties right here in the Champaign, Urbana area. So today, my goal is to help you understand the different types of properties you may want to consider in your investment portfolio and why. So here's what we're going to cover today. I'm going to talk to you and show you examples of single-family homes and investing in single-family homes, duplexes. We're going to talk about fourplexes and similar properties, perhaps 4 to 10 units. We're going to talk about multifamily apartment buildings, which are going to be from 10 units to 100 units. And also number 5, I'm going to share with you a bonus category that's going to blow your mind. So each of these categories have their own pros and cons, all right? So my goal is to give you a better understanding of these investment properties in Champaign, Illinois, so you can decide what is the best fit for you. Okay, so first let's talk about the different type of investment properties when we're talking about single-family homes, okay? So a lot of you are familiar with this. For those of you who aren't, I'll cover it really quickly. I'm going to be showing you a couple different properties as we go through each category. However, we're going to look at what they're rated. Are they A properties, B properties, C properties? Brock, what's the difference? Well, an A property is typically going to be a newer property. You're going to usually pay a retail price. The cash flow is going to be less exciting. However, you got a maintenance-free property that you're not going to have to worry about. And the likelihood on the A properties is they'll probably appraise pretty well or appreciate in value, over time, all right? A B property is going to be a little bit older, 20, 25 years older, or at least in a pretty decent area and in pretty good condition, all right? So a lot of people like the B properties because you'll pay a little bit less typically for them. They'll cash flow better than an A property. However, you'll be getting to kind of the end of life on a couple things. Usually the roof, the furnace, the air conditioner, those kind of things. So you have to plan accordingly for that and just budget for that, okay? And then a C property are typically properties that you can buy at a deeper discount. The price on the surface to buy this specific house seems amazing. The cash flow is way higher than the A or the Bs. The problem is you typically have a lot more turnover, usually deal with rascally tenants. So if you have the appetite for that, you can get way more cash flow on C properties, and the buy price to buy them are going to be quite a bit less. So today, let me take you into 2 different single-family homes. The first one I'm going to show you is a B property. It's really good, and I'm going to show you a little bit of the property, as much pictures as I can show you, and the what the property's recently sold for, and also what the rental rates are, so you can decide is that something that makes sense and interests you. All right, so what we're looking at right here is a map of the city of Champaign and Urbana. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here on this first property so you can take a look. All right, so this property was on Valerie Drive, and I helped an investor buy this property right here. This property sold for $169,100. Wasn't in bad condition. It really could have been rented right away. However, a coat of paint wouldn't have hurt it. So this investor actually just put a coat of paint on the inside and it was ready to go. And he rented this thing and had tons of people ready to rent it right away for, I believe it was $1,750. So I would consider this, and everyone's going to have their own consideration on the A, B, and C. I would consider this a B property. Good neighborhood, more on the newer side of the property. It's definitely not a brand new property. However, everything's kind of ready to go in this. Furnace was updated. The roof is what still had 10 or 15 years left on it. The siding was vinyl siding, so maintenance free. And also it's a single family home in a good location. So typically what happens with the homes that are at least B properties and above, the tenants tend to stay a lot longer. So once you put a tenant in, you may not hear from them for 2 to 5 years. So unless you have some kind of small repair. So that's why these kind of B properties, when it comes to single family homes, are interesting to investors who are looking to buy rental property in the Champaign Urbana area. So this is one example of a single family investment, and there's actually lots of these in the Champaign area. There's some of these in the Urbana area, and this again I would consider a B property. All right, so let's come back to the map of Champaign Urbana. The last one we were in was really in the northwest corner of the city of Champaign. I'm going to come down to another area just on the west side of Champaign for a single family investment. Urbana has these exact kind of single family investments that I'm going to show you, quite a bit of them. So apples to apples, they compare just to what I'm about to show you. So let's zoom in on this other property here, and I would consider this a B- property, and I'll show you why in just a second. So let's zoom in on this. In fact, I'm just going to zoom in on this picture right here and show you. I also have some interior pictures just so you can see how this would play into you investing in real estate here in Champaign Urbana. So again, this is a property that I would call a B-. The reason I'm calling it that is it's a pretty decent neighborhood. It's older. They were built in the 60s, something in the late 60s. This is actually a 4-bedroom home because when this property was bought some years ago, the garage was actually turned into a 4th bedroom, which is a great investment play in Champaign Urbana if you can buy them at the right price to make that happen, because once you turn these into a 4-bedroom, the rent rate increases significantly. So this property here, I'll show you some interior pictures so you can kind of take a look. It's in pretty good condition. So they're smaller. There's just one living room, and in fact in this property there was just one bathroom, all right, but really good condition. And so this property, it's a 4-bedroom, sold for $130,000. The rental rate on this property was $1,385 a month. So let me ask you, would you do that deal? Does that make sense to you? It's a pretty good cash on cash return, specifically for a property that's in really good condition. So again, even on these properties, when you can buy them, even in, like this B-, if you can buy them and if they're not in this good a condition, and you can buy them right so that you can get them to this condition so that tenants won't be calling you for all kinds of little things, this is one of the perfect examples that the house is rent ready. And what that means is when a tenant comes into your single family investment, that you're less likely to hear from them for years unless there's some kind of little repairs that need done. Otherwise, the tenants are going to enjoy this home. They won't want to leave because they've got a really nice place, and they'll have a hard time finding something like this. So this is the idea of making your properties at least rent ready so that you're not nickel and dime every month with phone calls and maintenance fees, and the tenants typically stay for years in these kind of properties. So one other thing real quick I want to cover about single family homes and buying them to invest in single family homes here in the Champaign Urbana area is there's kind of two ways of thinking about how you buy them. There's one category of investors that look at it and they want to be able to buy the homes really cheap that need work and put in the work themselves, hopefully gain a little bit of sweat equity along the way. That can work, however, your buy price has to be really good on the front end. Right now, as of this recording, it is a seller's market, so the prices are a little bit at the pinnacle. It's harder to find those kind of properties. However, if it switches back to a buyer's market, that can open up that opportunity for you to consider that as well. Now, on the other side is a lot of investors that I work with actually are looking to park their money, get some cash flow. And so they're looking for the properties that are already rent ready. Maybe they've sat on the market just a little bit, and so they're going to make their offers to buy the property at a reduced rate. So they're going to put in an offer to see if the numbers work based on a lower price. Because if you can buy an already fixed up a single family investment that's rent ready, ready to go, and you created that like in the first example, that sweat equity, but you created that discount just by us negotiating a better buy price, and you don't have to do any work. That's the other side of the coin. So there's two ways to think about it. You have to decide what is the best investment strategy for you. Okay, so before we go on to the next category on investing in real estate here in Champaign Urbana, if you have questions about investing in single-family homes in Champaign or investing in single-family homes in Urbana, feel free to reach out, connect with me. We can schedule a strategy session so that I can help you accomplish exactly what it is you would like to do here in the Champaign Urbana area. So my contact information is on the screen. Feel free to reach out and let me know how I can help you best. All right, so the next category I want to talk to you about is duplex properties in Champaign Urbana. Before we take this journey too far, I want to touch on one thing real quick, and that is on financing these kind of investment properties. So a lot of investors have contacted me. Some investors are actually out of state, but even the local investors, and they'd like to do online financing, Quicken.com, those kind of things. Those are really not favorable in our market. The best thing to do is to use local commercial funding to fund these deals. So first thing, if you're a cash buyer, that takes this completely out of the picture. Your cash offer will come with a lot of weight. If you are getting any kind of funding, what I would recommend is connect with me. Let me put you in touch with a couple commercial lenders who are really investor friendly so that they can help you on your journey as you're starting to look for the perfect properties that work for you. All right, so let's dig into a property here. I want to show you this duplex right here. This duplex, see if I can come down a little bit. There we go. This duplex right here has two sides, of course, and an attached car garage for each side. So these are 2 bedrooms on each side, and this property sold for $140,000 just a couple months ago. So this was an incredible buy. These are hard to come by. It was actually listed on the market for a little bit of time, and the this property actually was negotiated down to get to that $140,000. So this was a fantastic buy. Here's what I'll tell you: it did need a little bit of work. It needed some carpet and some flooring. However, at that price, it was a home run deal. All right. So on a duplex like this, you can typically rent each side between $900 and $1,100. So if you're generating anywhere from $2,000 to $2,300 a month in rental income at $140,000 buy price, that's fantastic. The one thing about the duplexes are they're a little bit different than single family homes, meaning the tenants don't stay as long. However, they will stay longer in a duplex typically than in an apartment building, which we're going to cover here in just a minute. So to gather up a handful or just 1 or 2 duplexes around Champaign and Urbana at the right price is a fantastic investment. Okay, I'm going to show you another duplex, however, this time in the city of Urbana, just to give you some comparison. This property here actually was listed for sale for $194,000. It was a little rough, needed some carpet, some paint, a little bit of updates, but it was listed for $194,000 recently, and it recently sold for $170,000. So again, the investment market switches just like the single-family retail market switches. Right now, on these type of properties, they don't move as fast as residential real estate, and so therefore you can be able to negotiate a better price. So here's the difference. If you would have not tried to negotiate with this property, you would have paid $24,000 more for this property. However, just using a little bit of negotiation, in many cases on these smaller investment properties, we can create equity out of thin air. And so that's what I want to share with you and discuss with you in a strategy session so I can help you find the best deals and make the best deals. All right. So this property here, one side was actually at the time rented for $833 a month. That is a little bit soft for this. Typically, you can get $900 to $1,100 per side. But again, the buy price, $170,000 here in Urbana. So this is another category, these kind of duplexes that a lot of investors in Champaign Urbana are really interested in buying. So the question to you is this the kind of investment you're looking to add to your rental portfolio? All right, so if you have questions about investing in duplexes and needing more information about duplexes in Urbana and duplexes in Champaign, again, reach out to me. My contact information is on the screen. Let's schedule a strategy session so that we can get together. You can tell me a little bit more about specifically what you'd like to accomplish so I can help you get there and we can do it together. All right, the next category I want to cover with you is buying a little bit bigger property than a duplex, and I would kind of put those in maybe a fourplex or 5 or 6 unit. All right, so I want to show you it's kind of limited. There's not a ton of these that come up throughout the year in Champaign Urbana. I want to show you a couple examples so you can see what these look like. All right, so the first thing you might be saying is, Brock, that doesn't look like a fourplex. It looks like a single family home. Well, yes, it does, and yes, it is. In fact, this is what, when we were talking about fourplexes, fiveplexes, maybe even sixplexes, the majority of the properties in that range of number of units in Champaign Urbana, you're likely to find a converted home that has been converted down to single units inside. Okay, it might be a 2-bedroom. They might have split out 3 bedrooms here, 1 bedroom here. A lot of cases they're metered separately for electricity. However, everyone would still share the same water bill. Now, one interesting thing about this 4-unit property right here is it came on the market at $190,000. However, in just about 2 weeks, this was a very coveted property. There was lots of interest in this property. It ended up selling for $238,000, which is actually still a pretty fair price for this property. So again, it's 4 units. 3 of the units were rented, so 1 was vacant. So the 3 that were rented on this property right here generated $2,300 a month. So you still had an extra unit to bring in more additional income throughout the year. And so cash flow overall, this would have been a fantastic building for the investor that bought this one. Now, one thing that you'll find of why people consider 4 units, 5 units, 6 units at one, it's because everything's under one roof at one location typically will bring in more income than a single family home by itself. So that's one thing you'll find about it. So the tenants, of course, don't stay as long typically as in investing in single family homes. However, what you'll find is, as long as you have a decent, clean unit in a decent area, that you will have no problem filling these apartments when they come empty. The other good thing about it, like when a single family home, when your tenant finally does leave, all of your cash flow is gone for that property. When you have a duplex or a fourplex like this, if a tenant leaves, you still have typically the other 3 units that are coming in still paying your rent. So it's just a balance of what you decide is the best for you in your investment strategy in buying rental property here in the Champaign Urbana area. So the other thing I like about when we get into a little bigger of units, like a 4-unit or above, is if you can make some improvements at the property. A lot of it tends to be cosmetic if you buy the right property. Then what you can do is incrementally or right out of the gate, as long as the property's empty or the leases have come due, you can increase the rent. So the more you increase the rent, the more valuable this building becomes. So you can either appreciate and enjoy that cash flow, that extra cash flow that you've created by making right moves on the property, or it will also make the property worth more. So if you decide to 1031 exchange this property at a later time, then your value is just that much greater. So this is the only 4-bedroom that I can show you right now. I'm also going to show you a 6-unit, and it's something that you might be more common to seeing. Okay, so this is the 6-unit in Urbana that I wanted to show you, and one thing you're going to notice is, Brock, it's not all under one roof. Yep, when you get into multifamily in Champaign Urbana, you're going to find a little mishmash of everything from converted single-family homes to actual 4 to 6 unit buildings to actual several buildings on one property. So to put this into perspective, this is actually 3 different duplexes on the same parcel. However, it gives you 6 units at one location. All right, so this property was listed for sale for $337,500, and in about a month and a half, it finally sold for $310,000. So as you can see, sometimes if an investment property sits on the market more than 30 days, there's a little bit more negotiation that can come into play. In regards of the income that is generated from this property, the estimated gross rent is $3,600 monthly on this building here, or on this property. So if the buy price is $310,000 and you're generating approximately $3,600 a month in gross rental income, overall, pretty good buy, pretty good return, right? So this is a 6-unit property that was sold. So we've talked about single family homes, we've talked about duplexes. This is kind of like duplexes. There's just 3 on 1 property. So these are going to be, well, the previous one was a 4-plex. This is going to be a 6-plex. So 6 units at one place. So if you have questions about investing in investing in like 4-plexes or multiple properties on one parcel or multiple properties under one roof, just on the smaller side, feel free to reach out, connect with me. Let's do a strategy session. Tell me again exactly what you're looking for, and I will help you accomplish that. We'll do it together. Okay, so now we're going to cover the 4th category of investing in real estate in Urbana, Champaign, Illinois, and we're going to talk about multifamily buildings. So this is if you've been investing for a while, maybe you've 1031 exchanged some property and you're moving up to bigger units and bigger units, or if you just like to park some money in some bigger multifamily buildings. This property right here is in Urbana. This is 2 separate 10-unit buildings, so there's 20 units here. And this property came on the market for $1,200,000. So this was on the market for about 2 months, and the property sold and closed out at $1,120,000. So if you look at it, it's in pretty good condition. It's a pretty decent area, and the gross monthly income on this property is about $12,000 a month between the 2 buildings. So if you put those values into perspective, overall, that's a pretty good cash-on-cash return, especially for a building that's in pretty good condition and located in a pretty good area. Now, one thing I will tell you about multifamily apartment buildings and investing in multifamily in Champaign Urbana is the majority of the deals you'll never know about, because the majority of basically you're probably from 10 to 20 units and above. It's mostly 20 units and above. They never make it to market. A couple things happen. Actually, they're sold between buddies on the Good Old Boy Club. Sometimes they 1031 exchange each other's property and they trade them that away. And sometimes when they come to market, an investor is already on the table and the public really never gets a chance at the property. So I will tell you this, in the last 12 months, between 24 units and 84 unit buildings, bunches of them came to the market and were sold the very first second they hit the market, sold at list. So if you're looking at investing in apartment buildings in Champaign and in Urbana, and you want some help with that, you need me to make some calls to connect with some of the investors that own some of these buildings that might consider selling. Reach out. Let me know how I can help you. Let me know exactly what you're looking for. If you want to stay focused on buying apartment buildings in Champaign or buying apartment buildings in Urbana, Illinois, let me know, because there's sometimes people only invest in Champaign and like the rental situation there. Sometimes people just love Urbana, and sometimes people cross. But depending on exactly the property that you would like to buy for investment property, let me know what that is so I can get to work for you to find the perfect investment properties that make the most sense for you. Okay, so at the beginning of this video, I promised you a bonus investment strategy for buying rental property and investment properties in Urbana, Champaign, Illinois. So number 5 on the list is portfolio packages. Brock, what do you mean by that? All right, so there are lots of investors in Champaign County, and sometimes an investor might own 5 properties. Sometimes they might own 100 properties. And when they're ready to liquidate their properties, they will put them all up for sale at once. Now, this encompasses every different type of properties. They could be single-family homes. They could be duplexes, fourplexes, multifamily, a little bit of everything, or even a mix in between, okay? Also, they're going to be A properties, B properties, and C properties. So again, if a portfolio came up in A, B, or C, and that's the one you were looking for, this is an opportunity for you to actually gather and purchase these investment properties at one time, all at once, so that you don't have to spend a little, buy this one and then wait and try to find another one. Actually, you can buy everything at once if it's the perfect situation for you. So today I want to talk to you about an investment package that is for sale in the Champaign area, and this is all A properties. So there's over 22 of these properties in this package, this portfolio package. Let's see if I can zoom in for you here. All right, so let me show you these properties here. These are A properties. They're between 3 and 4 years old. There's 22 in this portfolio package. Now, of this, they're kind of mixed around in this neighborhood. They're not all in a line together. However, there's 22 of them. They are rented. Let's see, right now there's $463,000 in annual revenue coming from these 22 A properties, okay? And so the asking price is $5 million with an income of $463,000. However, the future projections are projected to be at $554,000 on an annual basis. So those are just, they're in the middle of doing some rent increases on each of these 22 units. So if you're interested in buying a portfolio package, and rather than having a $5 million apartment building, actually having single family homes parceled separately that if you chose to, you can sell off or 1031 exchange off when you're ready, this might be an opportunity for you. So if you're not, but you like the idea of buying a portfolio package when they come to market, again, reach out to me for a strategy session. I see these come up all the time. They're not as open to the public that people would actually see and understand that they're tied to other property. Sometimes you can buy just 1 or 2 of these properties out of our portfolio, and sometimes the sellers want to sell everything at once and they're willing to wait. So that is the bonus of portfolio packages that you can buy in Champaign Urbana if you're looking to invest in single family homes, whether they're A, B, or C, apartments, duplexes, and fourplexes. So with that being said, these are the surface categories that you can look into when you're looking to buy rental property in the Champaign Urbana area. So again, it would be my pleasure to meet with you, to connect with you, and let me know how I could help you the very best in your investing in real estate strategy here in the Champaign Urbana area.